Chuck Barris stages in Hollywood, California. And here's the star of the show and your host,
yeah, cause girls is players too. Keep it playing, baby.
I know nothing with any certainty, but the sight of the stars make me dream.
And we're live. Hello.
Oh,
Yeah.
8 seconds. Okay.
Yeah. On your screen, yeah.
Caught me off guard there.
You're welcome.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Why don't we do a Mexican wave now? We're on this camera.
No.
We didn't practice.
It's
so.
not coordinated for that.
Oh, we could do that next
Maybe
time.
next time.
Next time.
I mean, we're all layered
time,
up
next
and
time.
down from each other, so.
Yeah. Well, I could do that, and then you could grab. Anyway, right, let's get into this. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the Gamers Initiative episode 128. We sort of revamp things, as you can see. We're on camera for a start, and we've got a new intro and a new outro as well, and sort of made some changes. I think we're gonna make several changes as we go along, but this is sort of the new us.
I don't know how we managed to get Elite back. I tried to get rid of him over the break, and he came back again.
Yeah, I'm like a boomerang, a Rooney.
More like syphilis.
Yeah, but good syphilis. Thank you all for joining us. Who we got in the chat? We've got Mr. Monad, Grey Monad. Hello, mate. You all right? We've got Funk you. We've got the blue one. Thanks for joining us, guys. And
The blue
what's he
one.
say? Oh no, I see Elite on screen. I know. I'm hot. I'm hot to trot. I think I'm getting a bit laggy though. Yeah, a bit laggy. Thank you all for joining us. We've got Jen joining us. Jen on screen. Look at that. Everyone, look
Jenny.
Feast your eyes.
Jono. Yeah, thank you.
Jenny. I love
Sorry,
you,
sorry,
Jenny.
Jen. Sorry.
You don't know how often I hear this line.
I work
And
with someone
it's
called
never
Jolene,
funny.
and she's like, I am so sick of people calling my name as Jolene. Jolene. She
Okay.
hates it so much.
Yeah,
Really?
I feel her pain right now.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry.
Maybe.
I blame Ashtray. He put it in my mind. I never thought of it till now.
Right, so I don't know why they call you Jolene. That makes sense. Anyway, I'm confused. But let's get on with the show. Right,
He wasn't listening. Typical Elite.
we got. Right, yeah, I've lost now. I'm sort of trying to open two screens at once, but one of my screens ain't opening. So I'll try to do that. That'll work. That'll work. There we go. I'll minimise that. Open that. So I'm messing around in the background here. Right, let's go. Let's get into this. Right, so welcome back, everybody. Did you have a good Christmas? What did Santa get you? Did you anything good? Anything?
Yeah.
Any cool stories?
I had 3 weeks off. Nothing cool. No, just played games, chilled out with the family.
No. Ow.
Yeah.
Ow.
A bunch of
Red went away.
Diablo
Where
stuff.
did you go, Red?
Oh, look.
You
Jen
played
was
loads of Diablo?
talking. Jen,
okay.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. okay.
She's our guest.
Yeah, I had
What was you playing? loads of Diablo stuff. What's the updates?
I
see
said
a
I've
recent
got
update
loads of
yesterday.
Diablo stuff for Christmas.
Oh, you got loads of Diablo.
Slow
sorry,
down,
I thought
Lee.
you-
Slow your brain down.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What Diablo stuff you get? Can you show us any of it?
I haven't got it to hand right now, but just t-shirts. I got a 1,000-piece puzzle of Lilith. which is sat in the cupboard. I don't know when I'm going to have the patience to do it, but I will. Right, I'll frame it when it's done.
Where did you source that, or who sourced that for you? Because that sounds amazing, and I kind of want to do that puzzle now.
My boyfriend got it for me, and I'm flattered because I'll frame it when it's done. But a lot of the pieces are black because it's a very dark puzzle, so I think it's going to be pretty difficult to do.
Yeah.
It looks very pretty in the box, though.
You just frame the
He
box.
also got me. He got me a candle that bleeds.
Ooh.
Yeah. very vampiric for Season of Blood.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, I got some nice goodies.
Season of the Construct next.
Yes. You get a little baby robot.
I know, I'm looking forward to that.
I am. It's probably the most
Oh.
different thing they've done for a season, so I just want to see how it works. Everything they've done before, we've been able to compare to a previous season in Diablo 3 in some way. So this one is just completely off the wall. So it'll be good time.
So was it like
Be a good time.
the little construct you get on Diablo? Is it like a pet? Does it attack and do stuff, or is it just follow you
Yeah,
around?
it attacks. It's got the same attack power as you, so as you level up, the pet's attack power will level up as well. And you can get it to do
Oh, right.
either different attacks or like crowd control, things like that. You can repurpose it for whatever you want.
Customize.
I don't know much more than that at the moment because the season hasn't started. We'll see how useful they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just really want a pet to collect gold for me. Like in Diablo 3.
My theory is because a lot of people have been asking for that. I think, you know, how they tend to bring things from past seasons back when people like it. I think, obviously, it'll be too powerful for them to keep this every season.
Yeah.
They might bring it back in a future season purely as a pet that picks up your crafting materials and gold.
Yes.
That's my theory at this point. I think that's going to happen in the future.
Oh, I know. I need it. I miss my
Yeah.
scuttling hand. I had a scuttling hand. So
I
yeah.
loved collecting the pets as well. They used
were
to drop
great.
off the goblins. I've got cows and a little mini Diablo and a little mini butcher. I
Yeah.
know. We need that stuff back.
Yeah, because I had both the white and the black unicorn as well, and like
Yes. Yes.
yeah, I loved collecting them as well. They were great.
Yeah, and you get them to match them with your outfits.
Yes, and then you'd
These
be
are the
just
things
like,
that I like about Diablo. Yeah, it's controversial. The hardcore players are like, oh, it's too colourful.
hey,
just give us a unicorn.
I
it's
loved
fine.
Whimsydale as a level. That just took the
Yeah.
piss so much, and it was and it had the best loot though. Like that level had like the best loot.
We'll get stuff like that back
They've got
eventually.
in-
I think it will creep in. They
It will.
won't be able to resist it.
Yeah, they won't.
Are they putting new classes in it yet?
No.
Not yet.
No.
There'll be a new class with the DLC. Whether there'll be something in between now and then, I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Okay. That's a shame. That's a shame. So, Red, where did you get up to? You went off.
I was off for like
You went off
3
somewhere, didn't you?
weeks. It was
Yeah.
great. I played a shit ton of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm still in Act 1 because I've been playing a single player, and then I've been playing with Pete. And it's so interesting because in my single player, the way I've played through the story and that is very different to his approach to the characters, and I'm like, I had a completely different reaction to that, and that was really neat seeing how different it is, and even how different the characters interact based on how you play. Like, he's been trying to romance Shadowheart. Shadowheart hates his character, but Shadowheart likes my character. And my character in his game is Dragonborn. It's like a male one, but no genitalia, and I've got like they them pronouns, so I've made it like Godzilla. Its name is Godzilla, so like in the original, and we could just say Godzilla the whole time. But in the original movie that I watched growing up, was able to reproduce with itself. So I was like, I'm gonna be real meta with this and like try and turn it into an asexual Godzilla for my Baldur's Gate 3 play. And it's just really interesting. But
That's the 90s Godzilla with Matthew Broderick. isn't it?
yes, exactly that one. That
Yeah.
one.
I love that one.
Yeah.
The soundtrack was banging.
Yeah, that one was so good.
I
And
think that was Jamiroquai done the soundtrack to it.
That's it, yeah. Jamiroquai and P Diddy.
yeah. So I've been playing a lot of that. Pete was and shout out to Pete. He was so lovely. He actually gifted me COD, so I've been playing COD with him. And then I've been playing Halo, and just kind of every so often jumping into The Witcher 3. But what other? There were some indie games that came out. I feel like that I finished.
Is Palworld out now?
Palworld's out now. But I finished.
Is it out now? I'm gonna download that.
Oh, I can't think of what it is. But yeah, there's some other games that I finished over that period. I also went to the beach. Because it's summer where I am. I am, like, boiling. I've got fans on me. I even have an ice pack to cool me down. Like, it's just gross right now. And it's really humid. But, yeah, the beach and just doing stuff around my house. But, yeah, I've had 3 weeks off where I've kind of sort of been MIA for the most part on Twitter or anything else. Just because I was like, I do need to unplug a little bit. But, yeah, that's me. What have you been up to, Ashtray? What games have you been playing?
Yeah, well, I had 3 weeks off as well. Only went back to work this week. So, as always, jumping in and out of different games. As I mentioned before, I played the Avatar game. I give that about an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed that. If you decide you want to play it, it's really fun playing in co-op, but there's a slight issue that Boba and I came up with where when we completed like one of the places that you had to destroy in, say, my game, it was done, but then when Boba went back to his game, it wasn't. So it was for a while, and then it sort of reverted back, and then I had the same problem, and I had to go back through and do a couple of them as well. When I jumped into his game, it was complete on my end for like a few days, and then all of a sudden it reverted back. So that was a bit weird. But that was fun. I really enjoyed it. One of the best looking games I've ever played. Definitely better. Like it's really up there in graphics. I really, really liked the visuals in that game. Gameplay was pretty good. A few niggles here and there. Wasn't happy with a few bits and pieces, but I overlooked that, and that's why I gave it an 8. Played Spirit of the North. That's the indie game in Game Pass with the Fox. Yes, give that a shot. I don't know how many hours I put into it, but I completed that. Got most of the achievements for that. That's quite a fun game. It's a nice little indie game. I don't know, it's like maybe 10 hours or something like that. It's not massive.
Short game.
Yeah, so
I like
and it's
Hellblade
really
2,
worth
right?
playing.
Yeah.
Jumped in and played a lot of Goat Simulator 3. That's fun if you want, especially if you want to laugh.
Oh, my little boy's been playing that, it's totally not suitable for children. But he's been playing it anyway. But it's like GTA with goats.
Yeah,
Kinda,
it's great,
yeah.
right?
He laughs hysterically at running people over with the goat. And I can't help but just let him carry on because I find it funny as well. I'm a terrible mother. Sorry.
The best part is headbutting them.
Yeah.
And they just go flying.
We unlocked a javelin in one area, and you can just completely take out vehicles and they explode. It's fabulous. Brilliant game.
Well, my son, who's 10, he started playing it, and he's like, "You got to play it." I'm like, "Yeah, cool. We'll play a bit of co-op," and that's co-op as well, so you can jump in and run around and do silly shit there. Yes. I picked up the Batman Arkham games. I've got them in 360, but they had it on sale. It was really, really cheap. No. But the Rocksteady ones, and it was like, I don't know, $12 or something. So I was like, well, 3 games for $12. No worries. So I started playing that. So I played Arkham Asylum, finished that, and now I'm jumping in and out of Arkham City, which is really good. Bit of COD here and there.
We can play COD together now, Ashtray.
Yeah, so I heard that you've been playing that for a bit. How do you find it? Because I reckon it's a lot faster paced than Halo, in my opinion.
It is. I like it. And there are things that I don't like about it, and there are things that I'm like, that's smart. I wish that could be in Halo as well. Like the option to like filter stuff out of your search for like games is great. But I don't know. It's very different. I haven't played COD multiplayer in like forever. I think the only time I did was like when my friends.
The original reviews made it out to be.
Say that again.
Is it better than the reviews made it out to be originally? 'Cause now the reviews that came out were just based
Oh,
on the campaign, weren't they?
What that was only on campaign. I haven't played the campaign yet. I've got it downloaded ready to play. But I'm just enjoying playing with everyone. It's really hard though because like I am having to unlock everything and I'm so far behind. And the UI is horrific.
Yeah, it's not very good, is it?
The UI is disgusting, and I wish it would die in a hole.
Yeah, it's not clear on.
It's so not user friendly.
Yeah, I've always found that the same.
Yeah.
So I try not to use much of it. I just jump in with the same guns every time and just play the same thing. And I just click a couple of times and that's it. I'm done. I don't worry about anything else. I don't care.
Fair enough. Yeah. And finally, Elite, what have you been up to? Because we have to ask. I mean, it's a requirement. Not that we want to know.
Thanks.
Just because
Please don't say Conan.
No, I've not been on that. I've been playing Starfield. I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 and I got quite far in that. I think I'm still on Act 1 though, I think. Just stretching my way around the Underdark at the moment.
Yeah, that's where I am.
It's quite tough down there.
I am. Yeah. I'm down there at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm making way through that.
I'm right
by the
forge.
Ask, when you play co-op, yeah, I'm near there now. When you play co-op, can the other person roam free, or are you sort of bound together?
You can roam free in the map that you're on.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
But
So
if
you
one
both just
person's having a
completely split up.
conversation, you can listen in on it and you can sort of vote for what you want the response to be. They can not listen to
Oh,
you.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you can do
you
that.
could be
I wonder
anywhere
if
How's
else,
the
and you
voting
hit
work?
like LT and then go to their thing, so you can listen on the audio. So you don't have to be right next to them. It's neat.
Yeah. Can you
really cool,
both
isn't
romance the same person? Red, do you know that?
I
Or
haven't.
can you?
I don't know because I
Can you
don't.
cock block your companion?
I've
Like,
kind of
how does
cock
it
blocked
work?
him because Shadowheart likes my character more than this. So
She didn't like
Nice.
me either. And I had the what's her face.
Shadowheart
Lae'zel.
starts off
I
cold.
don't
You've
know.
got to put more work in to get her.
she
romance.
loves my other character. My other character, she just thirstful. But it's interesting, like the Lae'zel, she's like super direct, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow. Whew.
Yeah, I
Damn.
didn't even want
wasn't-
to know her, but
I wasn't.
she was ripe and ready.
Yep, she was, and I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting how direct you were, all the language that you used towards me. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite. Yeah, but I'm enjoying it. And then what's his name? The vampire guy, Azeroth. He's very keen as well.
Oh, Astarion?
Yeah, starring, that's it. Yeah.
Azeroth.
He's super keen.
I think it's a different game.
Wrong
By a
game.
different company, like completely different.
You know what
See,
I mean.
we know
But,
that Elite's a fraud because he totally just.
I can't remember their names. I
Yeah.
don't really care.
Did you burn the bodies at the beginning of the game, Elite? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You must do
I've buried
that.
lots of bodies. I've been doing a lot of killing in the game. I've been playing an evil character.
Yeah.
I've been killing lots and lots of people. Killing as many, just to see how many people I can kill and who I can kill and stuff.
Yeah.
So, sort of almost trying to break the game to see if there's a flaw in it. But it's not been so far, so it's quite good.
It's surprising
yeah,
to
I
me how
enjoyed
much
it.
it lets you screw up and lets you kill characters and still the storylines carry on. Like
Yeah,
it
that's what
does
I was trying-
account for a lot
yeah.
of variables. It's so clever.
It just is
Yeah,
like,
that's
you
right.
can do whatever you want and the game is still gonna get to its end.
Yeah.
I would like to see more games that are this in depth. It'd be good. It'd be nice, especially the
great.
co-op, although you can split up. You don't usually get that in games. The co-op, you usually tether together, aren't you? So I'd like to see more games where you can float off. But
Yeah.
Still,
It's so
keep it
easy
together.
to like talk about that game and then spoil it for other people though, so it's like very careful about
This is why. So
not
I do
saying
want to do a
things.
playthrough with you, Elite, but I need you to finish it because I will spoil it for you if we're in chat and playing through Act 1.
I'll
Because
finish
things that you do there will affect things later, and I want to be able to speak openly
it. Right, okay.
and not ruin the game
Then-
because it's just such a good experience.
it's so good.
All right, I'll complete it then. But can you? Yeah, because we talked about romancing NPCs. Can like Blue? Who's you playing Blue or Pete? Can they
Pete?
romance you?
I have no clue if you can romance while you're playing it as your character, because I know like if you're not in the game, then your character's in their world, and I guess they could technically romance your character. I have no clue.
I don't know actually.
Yeah, that'd be
Google.
interesting.
Google.
So you log back in the game, and your character's getting off of their character, and you're like,
Yeah,
what the
be
fuck?
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're taking
My
advantage.
character's abstinent. I'm kidding. It's got a purity ring. Have you not seen it?
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Definitely
Yeah,
make a
hopefully-
character with no genitals if you're playing with Elite. 'Cause
Yeah.
he will take advantage.
No, that's going to stop me. I'll be like,
Brilliant.
You'll just slide off,
obviously that's a
Elite.
challenge. Yeah. Right, I'll tell you what, should we get into our first topic?
Yes.
Yeah. We
I
should.
can't see the topics because I've got the screen open.
Did
Right,
we want
I
to
think we
start
should
off
as
with
well.
one of the generic ones before the direct?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah. Do you want to lead on? Because I can't open. Oh, there we go. I've done it. Oh, no, I've not.
Technical difficulties.
Still struggling with
It's running
basic
really slow.
tasks.
Now I'm clicking on stuff and it's just scrolling really slow through stuff. I don't know. I'm getting a bit of lag for some reason. I don't know what that is.
That's all good.
There you go. Right, well, let's go then with. Should we start with Rockstar? Let's start back to front. The Rockstar topic. Rockstar upset about the logo similarities between theirs and Respawn's. So I don't know if you guys see.
Remedy.
Remedy. Oh, was it Remedy, not Respawn? Oh yeah, it's Remedy. Yeah.
Take-Two that have started the case, isn't it? Not Rockstar. Or have I got that wrong?
Say that again.
It's.
It's Take-Two that have started the case.
Take
isn't
Two,
it?
correct.
Yeah.
Did I put Rockstar? I'll fix it in my thing.
Take Two is the
It's
parent
on
company
behalf of
Rockstar.
Rockstar,
So
but yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah,
Take
so
Two.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah, it's his parent company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is over the logo because they both have an R. That is it. Because they both.
There's no
have an
other
R,
similarity
sort of
whatsoever.
emphasise-
Yeah.
No,
It's
it
just
was like,
punching
oh, that's
down,
it,
isn't it? That's how it
yeah.
feels. Punching down at the little
Remedy's
guy.
had an
Because
R
Remedy's been
forever.
around for a long time with that
You-
logo.
you can't
I don't know why
trademark
at this
a letter
point
anyway.
they've-
No.
I mean,
No.
Twitter's gonna try with
No.
X.
Yeah, I mean, there are some weird trademarks, like the Sky trademarked the word Sky, didn't they? And there's some other weird trademarks, but yeah, I can't. But the logo don't even look the same.
No.
Other than it being an R, the logos don't even look the same. And I don't think anyone would ever mistake the Remedy and Rockstar logo. Everyone knows the Rockstar fucking logo. No one's gonna go, oh,
It's just
Look.
douchey.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
just
like
so recognisable. It's got
Rockstar.
the
Yeah, it
star
does
on
seem-
it as well.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. To put this, until they showed it on this their little complaint, I couldn't even say I knew the Remedy logo. Honest, but now I do now. Thanks. So thanks for that, Rockstar.
All they've done is
But yeah,
raise
it's
Remedy's
just-
profile
it's just a
even
weird
more.
Case. I
'Cause
don't know why they just seem to be. Yeah, it's like yeah. What they released recently? Remedy.
Alan Wake.
Oh, Alan Wake
Alan
2. I think,
Wake
yeah.
2.
Do you think that's why? Do you think because they've come out of Alan Wake 2 and they've hit the limelight and big? Do you think sort of take
It could be. They're like, oh, they've got some money. They can
Remedy's
pay us
been
now.
around for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because Remedy's been around for a long time, not give a shit, and then suddenly, with the success of Alan Wake 2, they decided to sort of rein them in, kind of.
They want a piece of that pie. That's what it is.
Which is a bit odd.
Yeah, well, considering they said that they've resolved the issue late last year, and Alan Wake 2 came out around that time, it probably, timing does seem to sort of say that they're trying to just sort of get on that sort of bandwagon a little bit, but it does say it's been resolved and there's, nothing to see here, so...
Yeah.
Interesting that they would bother in the first place, realistically, because like I said, you can't trademark a letter. They look completely different anyway, and I bet you if you Googled it, there's probably 1,000 companies out there with an R as their logo
Yeah.
in one, way, shape, or form.
It's worth the bad press that they're getting, and any money that they get from this isn't worth it.
No.
Any
It's
press,
just a strange move to me.
any press is good
No.
press.
Yeah. Elite, you're frozen
Yeah.
on my screen because you were botting before. Was he botting for anyone else? Or was it just on
Yeah,
mine?
so I said I'm getting.
It's frozen
lag.
on mine as well now.
Okay. It isn't just me.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to
I'm
reset.
getting weird
He's,
lag
he's
on
having
there.
a stroke.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Someone might have to read off topics. Then it's when I go to these topics, it seems to go all funny.
Just
let me come back to the
open
other
the topics
screen.
up on your phone. You've got a Discord app.
No.
Do you
I've
even
not
have
got Discord on
phones?
my phone.
I mean, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got Discord on the phone.
Yeah, exactly,
I've got Discord on
Ashtray.
the phone.
So much
my
with so
phone,
little.
My phone got stolen, and now I've got a crappy iPhone, and it's crap. I hate iPhone. I've got a crappy iPhone, and I've not got Discord on it. So let me go back to someone else. Right, do you want to move on to the next topic then? Does someone want to read the next topic on? Then I'm trying to get back onto the main screen there because this is messing up. Maybe I should jump out of Discord and jump back in.
I need to load up on my end. Okay. Well, I just wanted to quickly add, very quickly before we move on anyway, I think it's really douchey that they've done this. I really do. That they have decided to do a trademark dispute over something that is clearly completely different. I don't know how people could confuse the two like actual logos at all. They are so vastly different, colour and everything, and that star is so very indicative of, you know, Rockstar, and I think it's stupid, and it shouldn't even be an article, and yeah, I just think it's douchey that they're doing that. Yeah. And very quickly though, just because Fuck You's been spamming it in the chat throughout this, is hashtag delete elite, so yeah, just so we feel okay about that. Yeah. Okay. Are you all good to go
It's still
now?
there. Fuck you, yeah. It just seems to go funny when I come off the screen without screens on it.
Okay.
When I go back, let me try again. I'll go to the main channel and see if it freezes again.
Technical difficulties.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what's really laggy today. I don't know what it is. Probably the weather. I blame the snow. Right.
Well, is it snowing
right. So
where you are?
yeah. Not yet. Actually, no, it's not. Is it snowing where you are, Jenny? Jenny, please.
Jen.
Day, frosty, but it's not snowing.
No, I heard it was snowing up that way. Oh, well. I was lied to. Right, so let's go. I'm going to jump onto another topic now then. I'm going to topic number 3. Spider-Man co-op removed. So I don't know if you heard about this, but the Spider-Man 2 was sort of leaked on PC, wasn't it? The port version was leaked on PC briefly. I don't know how it can be accidentally leaked onto PC, but it was. And in that short period, some hackers and that found that it had a carp mode in it, which was removed. Don't know if you guys heard about all this.
It was the same
Yeah.
with the remaster of the first game. When they were going through the code, they saw that also, there was reference of that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your take on this then? On the whole, well, obviously it did have co-op and they've removed it, and possibly either they just removed it because they didn't want it, changed their mind, or removed it to add it in as paid DLC later. So what's your take on this? See, my problem with Spider-Man 2 is why I don't think it should have been nominated for Game of the Year or anything like that, is because it didn't have a co-op mode. And it was ideal for a co-op mode. It was written for co-op. And, obviously, it actually was. And I think to release without a co-op mode, it just made it just another generic Spider-Man game. And I think...
It could well be that
they
were having some technical difficulties with it, so they've pulled it to get the game out the door, and it will come out as DLC later. That's what I think's happened.
Yeah.
Paid DLC, right?
I suppose, yeah, it could be that. But the game, yeah, paid DLC later. The game did have a lot of bugs at launch and a lot of issues, so maybe it did affect that, possibly.
I mean,
co-op as well.
The game was primed to, I guess, have the option for co-op in the sense of there were 2 Spider-Mans in New York. You had Miles Morales and then you had Peter Parker, and it should have been an option to do that. But like you said, I think it was just something that they needed to get this game out, and it wasn't viable to deliver that product because it would have been subpar, and the game was buggy as it was anyway. So it's kind of sad though. Like, I made a joke in our chat earlier when I kind of posted this up to say, like, it'd be awkward if someone was playing Spider-Man and the other person was playing MJ through the game. That wouldn't have been very fair. But that it would have been quite cool to have, like, someone playing Spider-Man and someone playing oh my god,
a cube.
A cube.
Someone running around as a cube.
Someone playing Venom, because then you would have got more time to play Venom, and I think that was a missed opportunity in that respect. But yeah, it's just it's interesting that that's there because it was speculated, and I think that would have just made the game even better with a co-op mode and added longevity for people who played it through single player and then people who wanted to play through with their mates and such. Yeah. Ashtray, any thoughts?
Yeah. We all know what I'm going to say.
Tell us.
They're leaving it out on purpose.
Yeah.
Why would you have it in the
That does
2018
seem likely.
version? You know, because that, I mean, you know, what's that, 4 years ago? So, and games, it's not a huge game. So co-op for games like that is easily achievable. It's not like it's difficult to do. A lot of Xbox games are co-op. So I really do think that they have kept it out so that they can do a paid co-op. And it's typical Sony. Sony do this sort of stuff all the time. And it's just another example of that.
Do you think we can get Spider-Man 2 remaster in 2025?
Probably.
I'm sorry, I'm just trolling now. I really am.
wouldn't-
We've
I
got-
wouldn't be
sorry.
surprised.
Yeah, we've got.
Yeah, like this, but this is the stuff that Sony does. This is the exact sort of things that they do. They leave features out. Why do you reckon there was a rumor in the first place that there was going to be co-op?
Yeah.
These rumors, because they were probably testing it, and then went, you know what? Let's hold that back. And you know, you could say, oh, you're wearing a tinfoil hat or whatever you want, but I mean, just look at this whole The Last of Us remasters, remakes. I mean, they're milking that franchise. You don't think they're going to milk Spider-Man, especially if it costs over $300 million to make and to have the license to? Of course they're going to milk that.
Somehow we've seen them numbers.
Yeah. So they will definitely milk it.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, other than the generic media that have just praising the remake of The Last of Us 2, there's been a lot of people kicking back saying it is just exactly the same game.
It looks
barely
exactly the
even
same from
graphic
what we've
update.
seen.
Yeah. The people that playing it, because there was people responding to Respawn Gaming, didn't it? Respawn Gaming saying the graphics are barely any different. There's no extra add-ons, nothing. It's just more or less the same game with just a slight upgrade. Kind of like what you get on Xbox when the new game comes out and they just upgrade automatically. It's just more or less that. So, but you had to pay for it.
The Naughty Dog Twitter page goes, The Last of Us Remastered 2 features a host of new accessibility features like cinematic descriptions, which gives players deeper descriptions of cinematic scenes. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
so it's not subtitles.
That they've touted
Added
that as like a
subtitles.
feature.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely crazy, in my opinion. So, yeah.
It was interesting to look at the comparisons and even like Digital Foundry sort of breaking down that game for The Last of Us Part 2 remaster, patch, whatever they want to call it. Because when it was enabled on the PS5 to run the PS4 version, it immediately, they enabled as a free update 60 FPS mode. Right, so you weren't getting a lot out of the remaster game, but it was nice that for those who hadn't already bought the original game, they didn't have to pay completely for a new game. They only had to pay an upgrade fee. But I think they had a lot of money to make back on that anyway. For people who are playing it for the first time and they want the PS5 version, they can pay for the PS5 version. I don't know what the price is for the PS5 version. Is it cheap
I
to
think
get?
it was $10 for the upgrade, wasn't it?
That's the upgrade if you owned the original.
Yeah.
But if you're buying it outright, I don't know what the price is outright for it. But I'm assuming you could probably just get a PS4 version upgrade and it'd be cheaper that way. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, I was expecting more changes with that game. For them to say remaster, and that just shows the game's been out 3 years, and it really didn't deserve a remaster at all. There was no need for it. You'd already upgraded to a 60 FPS patch for free for people. It was nice to add an additional game mode in there for them, but it's just why? I don't know. Thoughts, Jen? What
It's
are
any
your thoughts on
different
it?
to all the heat that Rockstar got for doing Red Dead 2 on Nintendo and charging $50 for it, was it? Even though you can play it upgraded on the Xbox anyway,
Yeah.
for free, if you own the game.
Yeah.
You know, they've received a lot of heat for that, and we haven't seen really the same heat for
No.
these
You're not
guys. have
going
we?
to.
Well, we have from the Xbox side, but not from their side. And I don't see how it's a different scenario.
It's not.
It felt like sort of a last minute cash grab in there to encourage people to buy it. But I reckon there were people going, it wasn't really worth the $10 upgrade. There will be people going, yes, because I want that game mode with the no return mode. Definitely is worth it. But it's just disappointing to see that when the game clearly didn't need a remaster, and they could have offered this without sort of going, hey, it's a patch. I mean, it's a remaster. They could have just said, hey, we're going to add in a new game mode for you. And that's it. That's really all they needed to do. I think the load distance is nice, though, the change for that, because obviously it's a more powerful system, so enabling that was nice. But that should have been like included in the free 60 FPS patch that it enabled when it went from PS4 to PS5, because you're already paying for the more powerful hardware, so you would expect a slightly better experience anyway. And the fact that they're charging you, on top of charging you for upgrading to the more powerful hardware anyway, it's just disingenuous. And I think we complained about this so much when those games first started being made, like backwards compatibility games first started going to the PS5, and the fact that we were getting all free upgrades for our games with the FPS boost, the auto HDR, and even the increased resolution on some of the games, and PlayStation was charging for all of those patches. Yeah, very different story. Anti-consumer in my opinion, especially when you've got no games for the year. I mean, they have some games, but there's nothing really stand out for this year, and to be doing that, it's a shitty move. Yeah.
This is why they say Xbox gamers don't buy games, because they buy their games 4 or 5 times.
So do Nintendo gamers though, so to be honest. But I guess you've got no choice on Nintendo side. Like, there's no real backwards compatibility program in that space, whereas PlayStation enabled backwards compatibility, Xbox enabled backwards compatibility, so there should be some benefits to playing a game through backwards compatibility that you shouldn't get charged up the wazoo for it.
Yep, and all of this has been happening since Neil Druckmann became head of Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
Before that, they were doing different IPs. And as soon as Neil Druckmann took over, they stopped doing Uncharted series, and they started just working on the one franchise and just making remasters and remakes of the same crap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where's the studio headed? They can't continue to do it any more than after this, because what was it? The Last of Us 2, or one of them recently, was like 40% down on sales of the previous version. It's like, so people are starting to get wise to it anyway.
Well, they've
you can only milk a cow so long until it's runs out of milk, right?
They're working on a space game, right? That was kind of seemingly sort of
they were working on Factions too. What happened to that?
Well, I mean, who knows? Factions went the way of Scalebound. That's all I'm gonna say. And we'll be talking about Factions too,
but
like
Scalebound wasn't a first-party Xbox studio.
No, that is true. Yeah. That is true. But according to us now, this game that wasn't announced on, like, what is it? Halo's BR mode has reportedly been cancelled. I'm like, but it was never even announced. Like, Factions 2 was announced. He showed up at, like, Jeff Keighley's, like, summer game show with concept art and said, we've got more to show you next year. And then, like, that's a conversation of that game was actually fully announced as it was going to be coming, or a mode was going to be coming. Even KOTOR, like, announced, and now that's seemingly gone the way of the dodo. So it's just interesting that these conversations are happening and people are trying to find these big moments of going, oh, this Halo BR mode's been cancelled. I'm like, how? Because it wasn't announced. Like, there's plenty of instances with developers coming up with concepts of new games, and then publishers or things, they don't go to fruition. They're like, okay, that's not going to work, let's try something new. And we never hear about a lot of those projects that they're working on, because they don't go that far into development in order to go, let's double down and let's kind of ship this product. So interesting conversations happening out in the wild. Yeah,
like you said, the Battle Royale Halo game wasn't officially announced. I still do believe that they were working on it and it's cancelled, but that's because of resources, right? You've got to realize that there's a huge budget has to go into these games to develop them, and then obviously ongoing, the games as a service. You've got to basically dedicate, I don't know, 5 to 10 years on keeping the game alive, and that costs a lot of money to do. So it's probably better that they pull that. I don't think it wasn't 343 working on it, but still they'd probably have to oversee
Private
it.
Division? Was it
Like-
Private Division? No, who was it? No, not Private
I
Division.
can't remember now, but
Can't think of the name.
let's use any resources that were attached to that, utilize them better, essentially. So
It wasn't Private Division. It was someone else. I can't remember.
can't remember who it was either. Yeah.
When Elite
So,
comes back,
yeah.
it'll fix our cameras. There we go. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I keep lagging. I was just gonna add my 2 cents.
If you
Please
have to.
don't.
We've
Just don't.
we've Uncharted. Remember, they removed factions from the Last of Us 2 game on the promise that they was going to release it as another game, and so they didn't make the game. They didn't finish the games. That means then Last of Us 2 officially released incomplete because they've took a mode out of it
Yeah.
on the promise that they was going to make a mode into a new game, and they've not done that. So The Last of Us 2 officially is incomplete. So this is what I mean. And then if we go to Spider-Man, if they've removed the carp from that, that means the game is officially incomplete. And I'm just saying, a lot of the PlayStation gets so much buy on that, whereas Xbox games, I mean, look at they have the hype they're giving over a battle royale for Halo. It's missing the mode, it's incomplete. But it was never even announced. I don't think Microsoft ever announced that. I think it come from Dr. Disrespect, didn't it? He said he would like a battle royal mode and stuff like that, and he made sort of big hoo-ha about it. And I think from that, people rumoured it. And now this rumour that it's been cancelled is sort of rumour of a rumour. And everyone's jumping on that. But, it's when Xbox releases a game that's incomplete, even if it's a gas game, and gas games by nature are always incomplete, and they're never complete. That's the whole premise of a gas game. They get dragged across the coals, but I don't know how PlayStation gets so many buys on these things where they could just release incomplete games and just sort of just fade away into the background, just shrug it off, go it's boggles my mind every time it happens.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's always the way, though. They get a pass.
Yep, and we'll see probably a Last of Us 1 and 2 combined sort of remaster of the two of them for PlayStation 6, if there is a PlayStation 6.
Probably. Yeah. They'll milk. I don't know if they can. They probably will. I wouldn't be surprised, but
remaster.
is anyone really going to buy it at that point? God damn.
Well, Reforged Gaming will. He didn't play Last of Us 2 apparently, and he's only just started playing it. So
I played the first one, and it was fine. It was a good game. I don't get the hype behind it. Never bothered with the second one.
No.
No.
It didn't need to be a second one. The Naughty Dog said they wasn't going to make a second game. They originally was going to make it. They ended it where it ended, and that was it. There's meant to just be, but it
Fantastic.
was,
I've not played the game, but I love the TV show.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
When's
And then
season 2 coming
for
out?
whatever reason, Neil. I think something happened in the management, and I think there was an argument at the top, wasn't there? And they wanted Neil Druckmann wanted to carry on, and some of the original writers, because I think the original writers done the part 2, did they? And they all left for went fuck it, we're out of here, and he took over it all, and then thought and that's why it's all changed since he's taken over, and and
he's got no original ideas.
Jump on this bandwagon. Last of Us was popular. I'm just gonna jump on that. There we go. Release this over and over again, and it's a bit sad, really. They should just moved on to a new IP. It would have been good if they just done that.
Yeah.
Create these blockbuster games. It's a standalone game. It was just milking it. It's just awful, just lazy.
Yeah.
And I think Sony's recently their studios are getting. I think it's for Sony are to blame. They're getting lazy. They're getting sloppy and lazy. They're just doing sequels and remasters now. IP is coming their way. I mean, they talk about Ghost of Tsushima in 2018. You know, is it 22?
That was a good game.
It was a good
19?
game. I'm looking forward to number 2. That was
That's
like an
5 years
82,
ago.
83 on Metacritic, right? And that went
Yeah,
into
before
Game
that
of
was
the Year.
Days Gone. Make a pretty. They did want to make. They wanted to make a sequel, but they took making a sequel. Sort of remakes and remasters. Why are you not just giving these other studios a chance?
Yeah.
I think it's just Sony's just being too greedy. They're just playing it safe. They think, oh no, Last of Us 2 will make us money. Last of Us 2 remake money, but Last of Us Remaster will make us money. They're just playing it safe and easy. And it's just getting sloppy and lazy and boring.
Yeah.
And it's a shame they don't get called out by the media. So
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Basically.
you know, as little as possible they can spend money and then just reap the benefits. And
Yep.
that tells
even
me that
said
they're
that.
struggling a bit.
yeah, they even
But
said
anyway.
that. They said it would be the easiest, cheapest option would be just to remaster
Yeah.
games.
But I mean, you know, that's happening over there, but apparently Xbox is going third party. And they keep pushing the narrative that Xbox is looking to go third party.
Yeah.
I can sort of see why people are bringing that up because of some of the comments that, you know, Satya Nadella's recent interview, and he says console, he said Xbox and consoles. So people have picked up and ridden on that. And then Tim Stewart, who's, I can't remember what position he is, but how he said he wants, you know, Xbox games to be on every screen. And so people are running with that as well. Every screen doesn't necessarily mean PlayStation. What are your thoughts, guys? Jen, what do you think about Xbox going third party? Do you think that their communication's sort of lacking, mixed messages? How do you sort of perceive it?
Not really. I don't think so. I think Phil was really upfront with saying that, you know, games would be decided on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
And that's exactly
Agreed.
what they're doing. And also, I'm not a fan of the hysterics on social media about something that hasn't been officially announced by Xbox yet.
Yeah.
Because if this does happen, let's say, for example, Hi-Fi Rush does come to Switch or whatever, we need to let them announce it in their own way. There's got to be a business reason for this. And it might be that, you know, they just didn't make money from it. They think it would work well on the Switch. We don't know because we haven't actually heard the news directly from the source. So I just don't think it's worth everybody getting their knickers in a twist about it, and also dramatising and saying that means that, oh, of course they're going to put Halo on PlayStation, because, you know, I've seen just people in absolute hysterics over this, thinking it means all games are going to be put on other platforms. And I'm not saying like people shouldn't be worried. I can see why they are concerned, because they think it weakens Xbox's position, you know, to give away its games. But they've been really clear from Xbox side of things, to me anyway, that their strategy isn't the console.
No.
You know, and it's getting their games out there and getting people sucked into Game Pass, which,
Yep.
let's say they did put Hi-Fi Rush on Nintendo or PlayStation. You know, it's been on Xbox exclusively for over a year now anyway. Get people hooked in, and then you release the sequel, that's an exclusive on Xbox for a year. You know, they have to get Game Pass to play it. It's a way of, you know, dragging more subs in. If that's the reasoning, again, I'm just thinking of reasons why they would do it, but we don't know, is the point. So there's no reason to get so angry about it.
Absolutely. And I think usually when they're talking about it anyway, it's usually in regards to ABK. And we know that their games have always been multi-platform. And the majority of those games are going to remain multi-platform. You'd be silly to think that they're all going to become exclusives. There will be exclusives come out of it, but majority of them, especially older games, will most likely be remain multi-platform. So especially if they're games as a service, etc. So there's nothing really new there. And I think that even if whatever, I don't know, let's just say a game comes out next year and it's announced for PlayStation, they're going to say, see, we told you. Go, hang on, that game's always been multi-platform. There's nothing changing there. They don't want to hold everything and stop PlayStation from having existing IPs. They've said that from the start.
They never said that. Yeah, exactly. They've been really clear about that. And Hi-Fi Rush, it's not a console seller. Nobody's going to buy. And as much as I love Hi-Fi Rush, no one's going to buy an Xbox to play that game. They might buy Game Pass, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it would be really clever to get it out there, but you know, I'll get shouted down if I say that on Twitter. So I'll keep my mouth shut.
Well, I think it's like you're looking at like the fact that they're the apps on televisions now and so on and so forth. So the fact
Samsung
that you
TVs,
don't
yeah.
even need a console to play these games is really like the console market at this point it isn't going anywhere because technology isn't at a point where they could safely leave the console market and you could play these games anywhere you want in the world at this point. That'll eventually happen down the line, in my opinion. And if you, I guess you want a system, who knows, they might continuously do something or change something in the future. But like they've been very clear, cloud is where they're wanting to go as well, and mobile market, ABK deal with like King in there, with Candy Crush and all of that. So it's not a big leap, and the fact that people who were throwing their toys out of the cot, in my opinion, about Hi-Fi Rush potentially going to Nintendo, like there's plenty of instances where there are games that have gone across to Nintendo from Xbox. I know like Moon Studios isn't a first party studio and Ori went over there and such, but at the end of the day, is that impacting your enjoyment of a game, or are you really just console warring at this stage? And
I feel like there was a lot of celebration originally about you know, the relationship between Xbox and Nintendo. You know, we all saw the memes about PlayStation being left out of the party.
Yeah.
You know, when crossplay was enabled between the two systems for certain games, and when other games have gone over there. So I really just don't understand the vitriol over Hi-Fi Rush specifically.
Well, I think there's two things there.
It.
I think there's two things. I think one, Xbox guys generally don't want, if it's exclusive, they want it to remain exclusive, and I can understand that to a point. But I think it's really just around the expectation now. So it opens that can of worms of, well, is that going to be exclusive indefinitely, or is this new game going to be exclusive for a timed period? They want to know, and the fact
it's the messaging, right?
The media, and the fact that the media and then the fanboys on the other side are like, don't worry, it'll come to PlayStation. I mean, they're doing that with Indiana Jones. I'll wait 6 years until Indiana Jones is on PlayStation.
I couldn't believe someone wrote that.
Why are you expecting that? Oh, because there's
it
always
would be
going to be that
good if
uncertainty.
someone would officially just come out and just like curb the comments with an official statement when all this is going on.
In the leaks,
but
yeah, they do need to officially come out with a statement. But that was in the leaks, right? For the ABK stuff, that they'd renegotiated the Indiana Jones deal with Bethesda to make it exclusive.
Apparently, yeah.
But
I agree. And with Disney, because Disney, they originally said it's in the link I put in. Originally, it was going to go to PlayStation, but when they took over Bethesda, that was all rewritten, so it wasn't. Just like
Starfield.
And just like Spider-Man. Spider-Man was supposed to go to Xbox, and then when PlayStation bought Insomniac, they rewrote the deal so it was exclusive to PlayStation. So
don't you go telling people that. Honestly, they don't want to hear that, Elite. You don't need to poke holes in their logic and their stories that they tell themselves.
Don't need to talk facts.
Yeah, what is this?
Your facts. Your facts, bitch. I was going to say as well, I forgot what I was going to say, actually. As I was saying, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, bollocks. That's
Jen, your chance to jump in before he starts talking about Conan.
Yeah, quick.
Oh, no.
Look, what they did do, because we'll jump into the developer direct soon.
Yes.
What they did do is they said platforms, and they listed the platforms. Now, some people I've still seen, they're not going to put PlayStation on there because it's their direct. It's still going to come. It's like, you know what? I reckon it's the first time they've done it. They finally wrote platforms, and they listed the platforms that it's going to be on.
Yep.
I don't think you can get any more clearer than that.
I think it's going to be something that we're going to be seeing more and more moving forward as they start transitioning into like all the different platforms that you can deliver the Xbox ecosystem on. So yeah, we're going to see more of that. Have you remembered what you were going to say, Elite?
Yeah, I remembered. I put my hand up so I could speak. Oh, fuck it.
You muppet.
No, I was going to say, actually, But this whole hypocrisy thing is just, it winds me up. Firstly, we've got the media coming out now on, I think it was Peter Orvo that posted it on Twitter about them in podcasts and things, saying about questioning, are these games that they showed at the Direct, are they going to be coming to PlayStation 5? And there's still that question lingering. Every time Xbox releases a game now, we've got, will this be coming to PlayStation? Why don't we ever have that with PlayStation games? Why is it every time Xbox shows a game, there's always a question, is it coming to PlayStation 5 from the media? I don't get it. Especially IGN, I just don't get it. I don't understand the direction. It just seems so biased. But the thing I was going to say about the PlayStation fans and the media as well, on the whole subject of things like these games, they're going to... Xbox is going for third party. We're going to get theirs games, you know. If it's like, as Jen said, Half-Life Rush is a year old. Let's talk about Sea of Thieves, which is like 6 years old, 7 years old. There's even like hyped up that could be going for PlayStation. Firstly, not all of them hated it, and the media hated it. So I'm not sure why they're now hyping this game up, capping for it. Secondly, it's 6 years old.
Where did that rumour come from, though? Does anyone know?
No idea.
Well, but this whole thing, like the other thing,
Probably on
it's
some
all
random
rumour.
leakers Discord, and I don't even like discussing it because it's just
rumour of a
pathetic.
rumour.
If
It's a
they
rumour,
actually
rumour.
announce it, fair enough. But until then,
Until then, I was
Yeah.
like, I had the same thing. My thought was like, where did this come from, and why are we
I
talking
feel
about
like people
it?
are just throwing games out for the hell of it now, just to see if it catches on.
Yeah, I feel like.
And
I
the
feel
whole
like
thing
that's
about, you know, we want to be... They keep quoting Thatcher and things wrongly, and Phil, I think they're reading into... unfortunately, a lot of Xbox guys, YouTubers, I think, are reading into it too much as well. I think they're getting it wrong.
It was just.
They mentioned, games going to other platforms. They never mentioned PlayStation. At no point have they ever mentioned PlayStation. They just mentioned platforms. And then the ones they did list was Xbox and PC. They never at any point said, and PlayStation, and Nintendo. They've never done that. And I think things... but Phil did say things will be a case by case. So, and, you know, at the end of the day, would we really be upset if Half-Life Rush went to PlayStation, say, next year? I don't think we would be. I wouldn't be.
Some will
people
be,
would
though.
be because they like to gatekeep it. But, I mean, by then it's 2 years old. And the PlayStation fans are going to jump on that and go, yeah, you know, you're losing your games and stuff, you're going third party. But then...
It's the same people though that said that it looked like a crap game because of the art style.
Yeah,
of
Now they
course.
all want it.
always is. Well,
Yeah.
look at the direct.
disingenuous.
Every game in the direct they've said crap. They all look crap. Starfield, they've hated that game for years.
They're capping
But
for foam stars.
They also then answer it. They want to know when it's coming to PlayStation. This game is crap, 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 crap. When's it going to PlayStation? Crap, 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 crap. When's it going to PlayStation? That's all we're hearing. But the thing is, yeah, foam stars.
It was.
And what's
Apparently,
the-
that's
the
only a
Hell-
timed
Helldivers?
exclusive as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's
They
meant
had
to be.
Helldivers as well.
Is that 6
I
months
thought that was
exclusivity?
multiplayer.
August, I
game.
think, is when Foam Stars, I think, is meant to be looking at coming to other platforms.
Other platforms, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what my understanding is as well. So it's only a timed exclusive anyway, but they're capping for
Because-
that, and they're saying that the games
they
in the
know.
direct were shit.
Was it Sony
What?
CEO or
Who's
head
made-
of
it's Square
Sony?
Enix
Who,
making it,
who
yeah.
was the one who was talking about how they're going to be investing more in PC this past week? And that
Well, that's
just,
the thing. That's the point I was going to get on. Yeah.
yeah,
Go
I was
on.
going to say PlayStation have put out exactly the same message that Xbox have. They said we're going to go onto other consoles, we're going to go onto other
Cloud,
platforms, PC. They
mobile.
even mentioned mobile, they mentioned cloud. They put out exactly the same storyline as Xbox, but nobody's jumping on the PlayStation bandwagon that they're going third party. We're not getting exactly the same story from the media or the fanboys.
Well, I mean,
on either side.
that conversation that he made about that just goes to show that we're eventually going to start seeing, because they're talking about investing more in PC and such, we're going to start seeing day and date on PC, because gamers want to play the games on the devices that they would like to do that, and if that means PC rather than being forced into buying a PlayStation 5, then they will, because I guess PC is the most diversified system around access to games, because they get basically all the games, and I think that's really important. So I think that's what we're going to start seeing, and those who are in denying the fact that you're going to start seeing PlayStation games go to PC day and day are probably in for a rude awakening, because it looks like that's exactly what's coming around the corner
it will.
any moment.
It will, Red, because you can Google search the sales of PlayStation games ported to PC 6 to 12 to 24 months later, and they haven't performed as well as they expected.
Because
And
they
that's
need to
because
be
they're
day
old.
and date. Yeah.
Yeah. PC players will buy those games when it launches within, either exact same time or within a few weeks.
Yeah.
They will do it. But when it's delayed 6 months or longer, they're like, whatever.
Because it's
And
like
that's
software
why we haven't
that
seen
makes
their
money
sales
for
as
them,
high
right? It's software that makes money for them, and it's that attachment rate, and it's like you need to wake up to the fact that you're living in the past, and I think even some of the Xbox gamers need to wake up to the fact that they're living in the past around how games are going to move between platforms and how the Xbox ecosystem is going to work and such. We've had this game. I mean, there are always going to be specific exclusives that will not go to PlayStation because their direct competitors, and PlayStation is not going to want that on their system or pay for anything or give money to Xbox in that space. So you're always going to get things that sort of encourage you to go to the Xbox ecosystem, whether that is on PC, whether that is on console, whether that is on your TV, but it's mainly through Game Pass. That's the avenue, that's how they want to pull everyone in that respect for that. So then they already kind of are third party anyway, but they're not third party to the point where you're going to see their games consistently be dropped on the PlayStation. And the people who are begging for games, I think, who was it who said, I always joked about Xbox games being dog shit, but I actually think they're good and I just wanted to play them on my PlayStation. It's like, cool, well, that's you, and I think that just shows how disingenuous you are as a person, and you've got no integrity. If you can't look at a spade and call it a spade, or look at a game and go, that's a good game, I might not play it because it's not on my system, or I'm going to go get that system and play it because I actually want to play it. They're still begging for Starfield, and I don't know. That's an interesting conversation.
I hope Starfield does go to PlayStation, because I like to see its score get boosted on PlayStation. I like to see the media suddenly give it 10s and they get a 90 rating. They should.
Not even score
You
though.
what, that
Look
would
how
happen.
much
You know that,
look how well it did on Steam for actually generating funds. Like, wasn't it like the third or fourth biggest game on Steam last year? And that's people buying it rather than buying PC Game Pass, which says a lot, really.
Yeah.
And all the
It
money
was
that
one
they
of the most
made from
played
the early
games.
access
It
purchase
was
as
played
well.
more than Baldur's Gate 3, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was. I think it had more hours in it than Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, yeah. Which is a massive achievement. But, yeah. But I forgot what I was mentioned again. But, I was just going to say, it's just boring to see the narrative switches. Because they're saying about, these games are going to go to PlayStation. Even if they're 2 to 6 years old, that means Xbox is leaving the console space. But then when you flip the argument and say, well, PlayStation games are going to PC, yeah, but it's 2 years later, it's not down dates, it doesn't count. But it does count when the Xbox games that are 2 years old are going to PlayStation. They do count, but not if they're going to PC 2 years later. But no one wants to play the game after 2 years, but you're all capping for games going to PlayStation after 2 years later. It makes no sense.
Well,
And with all the
The
evidence,
narratives are just all over this. It's just a wish-wash. And personally, I think Xbox. As I say, but I think personally, if I was Xbox, I would put my games on PlayStation after 2 years. I'd make them exclusives, and after 2 years, I would put Game Pass on PlayStation. I'd make them charge them £70. I wouldn't give them any subscription options. I'll reserve that exclusive for Xbox and PC. But I would after 2 years, I'd put my games on PlayStation and just boost. Because usually after 2 years, sales dip in a way. They do dip. The first 6 months, I think, is the prime time to sell games. After that, people just lose interest. I think it would be clever and to do that, and it would make them a lot of money. But the question is that people keep skipping over is: would Sony want Xbox games on their system? Would Sony want Xbox? Because software sells, not consoles. I don't know why everyone's still capping for console sales. Software makes money. Software is your revenue, your main profit. And would PlayStation want to boost Xbox profits exponentially by putting their games on their system?
Well, I mean, they have no
all
choice
these players,
with
all
COD.
these fanboys going, yeah, I'm going to buy them, put them on PlayStation, I'll buy them, I'll be buying them. Xbox be going, well, yeah, that's great. Do it, let's do it. the Xbox sales will go for the roof. And then what will come from that? There'll be more first-party games coming for Xbox. There'll be more games. They'll be buying more studios, more publishers, and then it will just be a vicious circle. They'll just make more games, more games, more games. They'll be draining out Sony studios, and eventually PlayStation. The majority of games on PlayStation will be Xbox games. So that's what will happen. So
That's exactly what's going to happen with the ABK stuff. Exactly what's going to happen.
Yes, that's what happened.
Because,
Yeah,
like I said
that's what happened.
earlier in the show, most of those games are going to stay multi-plat. And who's going
And
to
after
get
a
the
while-
majority of that money? Microsoft.
Yeah. And when
So it's
you've
gonna
got a
happen
system
anyway.
with the majority of the games you're playing on it are Xbox titles, you'll be thinking it gets to a point where people start swaying over to Xbox. They're thinking, why am I buying PlayStation? The majority of games I'm playing are Xbox games. Why don't I just buy an Xbox and play them on that on Game Pass and not have to pay £70 per game? It just makes sense. And because the extra revenue, you could do for Xbox for the extra revenue, what I'll do, the massive amounts of revenue that coming in, you'd still release consoles. You'd be stupid not to make a console, but you'd absolutely undercut Sony's PlayStation. When they come out of PlayStation 6 and it's, say, $500, I would release a console that matches their console, but it's $200, say. Because your revenue
Sign up to
coming in
Game
from your
Pass for
software
a year
sales-
and get a free
Yeah.
console.
Yeah, exactly. And you completely undermine them. Completely destroy them. Exactly what Sony did to Sega.
Sega.
Completely cut them in half, yeah.
Sega still stuffed themselves around,
Yeah.
but yeah.
'Cause the
I've got
console will be
like 8
secondary.
minutes to go till I got to jump out. By the way,
Yes, that's
man,
right. You do
yeah.
have to leave.
yeah. And next week I got to jump out early.
Well,
as
before we crack on to the next topic anyway, which
Goodness.
is the topic that we've all been wanting to talk about, just very quickly, just
No,
wanna...
to say I was unprepared.
I warned these guys earlier, like during the week, that I got to jump out.
Such a casual. We'll get Dalton's to replace you. He talks
Oh,
more than
I'm
you.
all for that. I'm
That's
all for
okay.
that.
I will try and...
Actually, everyone's going,
I might have to do some funny business in the background to sort it out on OBS, but yeah. It'll be interesting.
if
As
you're
I do
looking
it
at Jen
live.
like,
Do it live. Oh, that's all good. That is all
Poor
good.
Jen. Oh shit.
That was
He
it.
used
That's
to
gonna
like-
haunt my nightmares.
he used to watch her. Anyway, let's go on to our last topic. For what goes.
Yep. Well, shout out to the chat anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh, can someone else open it? Because mine's screwing up.
Well, basically,
God, I'll do a shout out to the
correct
chat
me if
while
I'm
you
wrong,
open
Red,
up
but
the
it's
last topic.
developer direct.
It is our developer
Just the
direct.
small
yeah.
events that happened this week.
Yeah. I
I'm gonna
mean,
read-
it's only 4 topics, Elite.
I'm just gonna do a quick shout out. Yeah, but my Discord keeps shutting down and messing up.
Okay.
I can't read my topics.
We
But
need
let
to
me
go
just do a
fund
shout
me,
out to
dude,
the-
so you could get a
the kids.
computer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't usually have this lag. I don't know why I'm getting so much lag. Right, future. Welcome. Well, great. We've still got Graham Maynard in the chat. Future generations, welcome to the chat. It's good to have you on board. Drop a like and share, guys, if you've not already. It's Timmy's in the chat. Yay. And big boy Mike. Hello, mate. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the podcast if you're new. And please drop a like and a share and subscribe to the panel. So let's go into our final topic, which is the directors Xbox directors. Dickers. Let's go. Has someone got it open?
I am just doing
No
some
one's
stuff
there.
on my end, so give me a second.
Oh my
thought I'd
God.
quick-
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I don't have it open, but I don't need it open.
Okay.
Essentially, the developer direct was yesterday. We all had it at different times. It was 7 a.m. my time, so I had to kind of drive and watch it at the same time.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's dangerous.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm pretty skilled, so that was pretty cool. We
Someone
kind of
click
there was
that.
some there was some rumors that sort
Send
of
it.
happened before, so we knew we were getting 4 games with a 5th being thrown in there, which is exactly what they did. And so I suppose we just pretty much just talk about it as it happened. So the first game that they showed, if I remember correctly, was Avowed. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was. Then
Yeah.
Senua's Saga.
It
So
was.
Avowed looked pretty good. We saw some leaked footage, obviously, about midway through last year, and people were like, "Oh, I don't know if that looks really good. The screen caps don't look that great." Blah blah blah. But I mean, it's there's always betas and alphas and all that kind of stuff, and there's time, and there's still time for them to work on it, obviously, right? So what they did show though was, for me, I think it looks stunning. First person gameplay. It's not just a hack and slash. You get to use potions and things. But we'll jump into Jen. What were your thoughts on Avowed? What did you like? Anything you didn't like about it? And
Looking forward to Avowed
see it?
because it's gonna be like my Elder Scrolls 6, because since we're not getting one for like a decade. So that's what I'm hoping from Avowed, really. The environment's absolutely beautiful. I'm not completely sold on the character models, the art style they've gone for with those. Again, I'll see more of the game. I'm really excited for it in general, though. The key art for it is perfect that they've come out with for the actual box cover. I think that really, shows what the game's all about. So, yeah, I trust that the studio will deliver us a good game. Even if I'm not completely sold on how the characters look in it, I trust that it will be a good game when it's released.
Fair enough. I kind of trust that they're going to do a good job with it too.
Yeah.
Obsidian, yeah, good.
I think someone said that it was the nerdiest of all of the games shown in respects to the actual developers and how they delivered it. So it's a good sign that it's probably going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I liked that prediction.
Who's going to go next? Go on, Ashtray.
I'm working on something in the background. Ashtray, you say your thoughts, please.
Yeah, look, I like the visuals of it. It looks like an Obsidian game, although I sort of feel that the graphics were, or the visuals were better than some of their previous games. So I'm looking forward to it. The combat, the way to approach and attack the different enemies will make you think, which is good. You don't just walk up to them and start slashing at them. You have to sort of work out, okay, well, how do I respond to this particular enemy? Oh, okay, I'm better off using a potion, yada, yada, yada. So that's pretty cool. Like any sort of game like that, I usually just skip through dialogue pretty quick. I've always done it, never really sort of taken too much into it because I'm all about the gameplay. And I'll just pick up the story pieces as I go. It's kind of like reading between the lines. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. Yeah. Hey, we're all different, right? But yeah, look, as long as they release it when they're comfortable. I mean, they said what, summer? That gives you a 3-month window. But just if it needs to delay it. I don't care what anyone says. There could be backlash about it. There's never such thing as a bad delay. Just release it when you're ready. And I think, personally, feel that they've been able to drop not dates per se, but times. I think they're pretty comfortable with that window. So looking forward to it. I'll definitely be downloading it and playing it via Game Pass for sure.
That'll be a day one for me, definitely.
Yeah.
Of all the games there.
Shall I go? I'm frozen again, I think. Am I okay?
Yeah.
I've still got your audio,
something,
but you've just frozen on the screen.
I've got
Yeah,
2 minutes. I've got like 1 minute left, so I'll just quickly say, Senua's Saga. I played the first game. Really looking forward to this. They did say a shorter experience, but it's not shorter as in shorter than the first game. It's just shorter as in your typical time frame. Looking forward to that. It's just going to be a massive improvement over the first game, which I really enjoyed, and I liked the combat from the first game. So if they've spent a lot of time on that, then I'm going to like this game very much. What was after Avowed? After Senua's Saga, it was
those 2 other games.
It was that Visions of Mana.
Yeah.
That looks all right. That's got to be co-op, so I'll probably jump in and play with that. Ara, I'm not sure about Ara. It's one of those building games.
I hate
Not
strategy
really.
games. That one's just not for me at all.
Yeah, I don't really play those. I did like a little bit when I was younger on PC back in the day, but not really for me. And then obviously Indiana Jones. I've always played those kind of games in third-person perspective, and I was kind of hoping that it would be. But after playing Starfield, after playing Avatar, they're all first-person view, and I've really enjoyed those games. And you do get more immersed in them when you are that character, because I sort of shut myself off and just see what's in front of me. So it does actually feel more immersive. So I am looking forward to that being a first person, sorry. So I still wish that they would bring something out like that in third party person. I keep saying party, but look, first person is pretty good anyway. So I'll be definitely playing that day one.
Remind everyone where they can find you, Ashtray, before you head out.
Yeah, so I haven't made a video in like a year. Don't know if I'll find the time to get back into it or not. But anyway, Twitter or Twitter, as it said.
It's American for Twitter.
Stole your joke, Elite. So Twitter, Xbox, all Ashtray Gaming, TREY. Like the new format, guys, I put a super chat in, the very first one for Elite. Delete Elite.
Thank you.
Elite.
Delete
All right,
Elite.
the very first one. Oh. All right, always a pleasure, Jen.
Wait.
Red, Elite, I'm gonna go.
Hey.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
See you guys next week.
See you next week. Okay, I just need to
Thanks,
work
brah.
on this to fix it for everyone. Okay. Give me 1 second.
Jen's gone. There he is.
Jen, she's there.
So,
Jen's
Right.
there.
Oh, what's going on?
what did you think of Evade
Right,
then?
let's go.
Red?
Right.
I'm just fixing something in the background, so you do that while I fix this, and I will be...
I suppose we'll listen to
Yes.
Elite then.
Yeah.
Go on.
Sorry.
Yeah, fucking yeah. Right. Jen looks upset. Right, I actually like the look of it. It reminds me of a game called Heretic back in the day. I don't know if you guys played that. But I like
Not old
I like
enough.
these kind of style of games. No. Really? But I think it looks really I think it looks really good though. It looks well styled. It does look like sort of a Skyrim game. With your spells in one hand, your wand in the other hand, potions and that. And I like the mixture. It almost reminds me if you mixed Outer Worlds with Skyrim kind of thing. And they're
Yeah.
very good at doing dialogue and stuff like that in their games as well, Obsidian. And everyone's always said the best Fallout game was the one Obsidian made. So I'm looking forward to this game. I know it's getting lots of hate. People calling it mid. It looks rubbish and trash and that. But obviously we know what kind of people this is from. These are from the people that won't be able to play it. But if it was,
I think it
going
will
onto
deliver on the
platform, they'd be
gameplay,
over
which
it.
is why I'm
think it
reserving
will.
judgment as well.
Yeah.
As such, like I'm excited for it, but yeah, I've got reservations, but I'm just really confident in that studio. So yeah, we'll see how it is.
The only thing I was on I think when you talk about some of the villains or the monsters in it looked a bit odd. Looked a bit.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. It was almost a bit
They
like
didn't look great.
Rare style, like Sea of Thieves style
Yeah,
character modelling,
Yeah.
which I wasn't expecting.
yeah. The NPCs,
and I think it's just 'cause
the
of-
dialogue
yeah.
is right, but they looked alright. But I think some of the creatures they were fighting looked a bit sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The actual
Okay.
environments themselves look gorgeous. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of work's gone into
Annoying.
that. The way he said you'll see in the distance and be able to go there.
Yeah. And you make I think you don't you make your character from scratch, like Skyrim. You make your complete character, yeah. Yeah. So so I'm
the whole
all into
first
this kind of
person
game.
thing doesn't bother me at all. I mean that's how I played Skyrim. So
Yeah, that's how I play a lot of games. I prefer first person than third person. So because I like to feel like I am actually the person, and I don't like when you see just a
I
back of someone's
thought I preferred third person, and I was a bit disappointed initially with what was it, Cyberpunk being
head. Yeah.
Solely
in first person.
First person.
Yeah, but then when it came to something like Starfield, for example, where you can switch between the two, I actually played in first person more, especially when
Yeah.
you're trying to solve things. You can just get a better look around you, which again I think it will work really well for indie. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it will. We'll get on to that. I think it's perfect for first person. So yeah, my thoughts on Avowed. I'm really hyped. I'm looking forward to that. Red.
Am I ready? Am I ready? Okay.
You are
You ready, Red?
Already. Okay. What have we talked about so far?
Just a varied, really.
Just about. Okay. Overall, I really enjoyed the showcase. I think Avowed looks amazing. I like the art style. I do think that they did tone down some of the colour palette, which was nice. You can definitely see it's a bit more polished than what we saw a few months ago for the game. I guess my biggest thing was like the gameplay, like the actual combat itself just didn't look that fun with the way it was displayed, and I assume when we see it next it's probably they'll change that. But it's also like I think one of my biggest things was like listening to other people's thoughts on it. It's a developers direct. People were complaining about the developers talking, and I'm like, but it's a developers direct, and they're there to talk about the game and what they're working on. It's not like your standard showcase.
Isn't that what we're here for?
Yeah, that's what we're here for. We're here to know like what they've been doing. I think some of the way that they shot some of the gameplay for Avowed just showed like indicative of them just trying to show like they had the AI that just didn't seem like it was toned down a bit, so they could kind of show like specifically about how it looks like to do certain different types of combat styles, like the double wands and like the sword and shield and the quick switch between. So I feel like for those who are sort of trying to pull apart the combat at this point, this was not a showcase that was meant to really showcase what the combat looks like when you're in a hectic situation or anything like that. I feel like it was really just kind of to show what they're doing and what it looks like, rather than ramp up the AI and really deliver a product that you would expect when you do a normal gaming showcase. So I was a bit concerned about when I saw that, but then I kind of thought about it. I'm like, they are really just showcasing bits and pieces around the game. Like, we're not getting a indicative of what we would normally see at a showcase. So that kind of, I was able to sort of talk my way through that and go, oh yeah, fair enough. Now because I watched it more than once and I've seen what they're trying to do there, and I think Avowed looks amazing. I love the new piece of art that's there, and people have it as a live background and so on and so forth. And some people going, it's not really a game for me, but until you get it in your hands, and it's going to be on Game Pass anyway, so if you're worried about buying this day one, like, get it on Game Pass, and if you really enjoy it, then double down and buy it with the discount that you get on Game Pass. The game itself just looks great. I think I'm really going to enjoy Avowed. Like, I enjoyed the combat in Outer Worlds, and I think this is going to be no different around that. There's no hate. Like, I can't hate on this game at this point because I haven't played it. I still feel like there's still more to see in relation to Avowed, but I'm impressed with what they're doing. Obviously, it's not going to be... They're not going for hyper-realism, so it's not going to have that really, I guess, graphical style that you're going to get from Hellblade 2. But what they are doing in, I guess, Unreal Engine 5 looks great to me, and I'm really excited to play this game. I was sad that we didn't get a date on it, but it's coming out this year, and that's the big thing. And fall this year was the release window. So I'm excited for it, and I think we're going to see more of it later in the year, and that's when you're going to get what you're looking for from the game. Some of the gameplay style reminded me a bit of like when I'd play ESO, with the way that you're slashing and so on and so forth. And I didn't mind the fact that they were just kind of showing the quest styles that they've got, and how, like, when you get back to town, then you'll see the impact of your quest, where people are going, why would they show this? I'm like, it's a developer direct. It is not a showcase. It's not like what we saw with Starfield, where they broke everything down and talked about it. They're just kind of trying to explain some of the mechanics and some of the thoughts and some of the things that they've gone into the game, and
they're showing us what they've been developing.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're being so ungrateful. First we didn't have enough games, and now we have games. You're complaining about the games. I'm like, just shut up and experience what they're telling you. This is giving you a little bit more insight around what they've been doing with the game, and like what's behind the scenes with developers. And I was really just disappointed with some of the fallout from people. They had these really high standards, and I'm like, why? You can have the high standards when the game comes out. You're going to play it. I know that everyone who was complaining from the Xbox side are going to play it. There were plenty of people not complaining. They're like me and excited for this game. But I was just... It's a developer's direct, guys. Just remember that. It's not your standard showcase. And I can't stress that enough. Sorry, that's my rant for Avowed.
Oh, that was a short rant. I was expecting better from you.
Just a little.
Just
Been
a
away
little.
for
That was
3
about
weeks.
5 minutes. 3 weeks later.
Yeah. Right, so the next game then was... next game was... What were we talking about? Avowed. Then it moved on to Hellblade 2, wasn't it?
Hellblade.
Hellblade 2 was the next game. Yeah. What's your impressions on that then?
Well, that
I wasn't
just
expecting them to show it, to be honest. But, yeah.
Yeah,
Go on, sorry.
that just looks impeccable. We can't
Yeah.
argue with that. Yeah, I really love the soundtrack to Hellblade. The music that they're going for with it. And I'm not bothered at all by it being 8 hours. I love short games. I like games I can actually complete within the week. So I appreciate that. And if they're trying to tell a really heavy story, aren't they? And I think 8 hours is enough for that.
I agree. I agree.
But the thing is on Xbox they are releasing a variety of games that you've got your 8-hour games and then you've got your 100+ hour games. They're giving the variety so you can choose what games you want to play. They're not just all 8-hour games. So 8 hours. Yeah, that I will play that 8 hours because if it was a game that I wasn't overly interested in, it was 20 hours, then I probably wouldn't play it. So, but a game like this, I think
Hours
8
though,
hours.
you can do that over a weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can just you can do that. Yeah, a couple of hours, and you can do that on a weekend. Yeah, and that's fine. And PlayStation's has survived on those games for X amount of time. So I can't see why the hatred now, because this is Xbox of doing the game. Well, they've continuously asked for make more games like PlayStation. Okay, here's one. Oh, but it's too short. Well, I just don't. It really irritates me. This whole narrative. It's boring, and it's ruining gaming. I think it's ruining gaming to its core. This kind of thing.
I feel like
But
we
I'm
have
quite-
these announcements and like lovely things to watch with all these games, and then people are nitpicking straight away afterwards for
Yeah.
something to be negative about. So all we've seen since the Hellblade part of the developer direct is that it's too short. It's going to be digital only, and that's the main narrative that I'm seeing. Not actually anything about the game and the footage that we saw, and it's.
I've seen
it's
people
sad,
slow
really.
it down, watching it in really slow motion and nitpicking it, and you're thinking, "What the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's sad.
What? Yeah, that's just weird. Why would you do that? You don't do anything else in life. Nothing else in life. You don't do that too. But Xbox, they just seem to just want to do this kind of nitpicking weird thing. And weird, it's not just the fanboys, it's the media as well seem to do it for Xbox stuff. It's just strange. It's just odd to see. But yeah, Hellblade 2, I'm excited for it. I'll most definitely play it. It's on Game Pass anyway. But I'll definitely play it. I'm quite looking forward to the violence. It is quite violent, much more violent than the first one. And,
The combat looks amazing.
Yeah, they said they revamped the combat. They've made it much more complex and put much more involved. So,
Yeah.
because people said, "Oh, the same old combat is gonna be really dreary and slow," but they've already come out and said they've revamped the combat, so it's gonna be quite exciting. And
I think Hellblade 2 shows amazing, and I don't think we're probably going to see anything more on it unless it's just like other trailers. Their whole thing that they've done around their dev diaries, this was just another dev diary, but on a bigger scale with a bigger audience attached to it. Hellblade 2 looked fantastic, and I can't wait to play that, and I'm so glad it's coming out in May. It does mean that we don't look like we have anything major for the first quarter of the year, but there are plenty of other games that are going to be releasing that are third-party titles or second-party titles that will get us through. I don't care about the size of this game, like the length of this game, because the other game, it's around a similar length, and I think that game was great as a whole of what it delivered. This is just going to be ramped up around better gameplay mechanics. You've still got the puzzle aspect of it because she's dealing with her psychosis. You've still got the Furies. I like the spatial awareness with not just the voices but all the sound in general being added into the game. I think as a whole it's going to be a great experience. And for people who loved Hellblade 1, you're going to love Hellblade 2. And then even the price that's been delivered for this game of $49.99 US, and I assume that's probably going to translate to pounds as well, who knows. It's nice to see that, because it's only a digital only title, that they're not charging like full price. It is a smaller experience around, like, it's not like your big bloated open world games that you deal with. This is a very curated experience. It was announced that they spent 15 million on this game, and they only spent 10 million on the last game. The other money that went outside of the game development would have been from Microsoft, would have been to I guess the new studio stuff that they used for it, but the actual game development, I reckon, for them to be delivering what they're delivering when we get it in our hands is going to be quite impressive, in my opinion. And I think a lot of that is just to do with the dedication of that team, because they're not a massive team. They have 2 other games that they're working on with other people, with other, I guess, developers within that studio itself, and then we've got the likes of 2 other games. No, 1 other game, because they've already done Bleeding Edge. I'm trying to think. Is there another game? Because we've got Project Mara as well that they're working on.
They've done Pentiment.
Which one?
Did they do Pentiment?
No, that was Obsidian.
No, that was Obsidian.
Yeah, that was Obsidian.
Yeah.
Elite, you're a fraud.
Oh, to an injury, yeah. It was. It's because I was watching your thingy.
Oh yeah. It's very impressive what they've done with this. And a lot of that, like, down to the engine that they're using on Unreal 5 has allowed them to, I guess, to still keep their team somewhat small and deliver a great experience. That's going to be very impressive in general for us when we see when we get Hellblade 2 in our hands. I am same with you, Jen. We don't need a really long game. I like some of the smaller experiences as a palate cleanser between that other games that I'm playing and such. It's just nice, because you don't always have all the time in the world to sit down for a really extended period of time and play 100 hours in a game or something like that. I mean, there are plenty of games out there that do deliver over 100 hours or deliver 50 hours worth of gameplay or even 25 hours worth of gameplay, but it's nice to have that variation between the games that you deliver or that we get to play. And I'm just so excited for this game. It's been my most hyped game, which has now been overthrown by another game that was announced at the show, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But Hellblade 2, it's got a date. I know it's coming. I'm going to play it. So, yeah, excited.
I just want to get this super chat. We've got an official super chat now that's coming from FarQ for £2. Thank you, FarQ, you bugger. I can super chat. Delete Elite. This has made my day.
Yep.
Oh, this is just going to start now a wave of super chats that are just going to be insulting me there, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've just opened a can of worms here.
Thank
you, FarQ, you POS.
And fuck you, I hope you're well, and thank you for reaching out. I know you've been going through something personal in your life, and we're here and we support you and we love you, so there you go.
Yeah, if you ever want to chat, mate.
No refunds.
I love that, no refunds.
Yeah, I should add that.
Alright, okay. Did we talk about Aria yet?
Right.
We sort of touched on it, didn't we, earlier? I just said I'm not into strategy games. I can't get excited for this.
Because
I can see why people do.
The devs that brought Civ, right? Civilization, these are them.
Yeah.
From my understanding.
I did think it looked just like Civ, so it's the same devs, yeah?
Yeah, from my understanding, it's the same devs.
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, what was I going to say? I can't even remember what I was going to say anymore. I like Civilization, but this seemed like it was Civilization on crack, just a whole nother level, and I'm like, would I have time? Because I haven't really been playing any full-on RTS or strategy games in a while. I guess my closest thing to that would be Baldur's Gate 3 at the moment, where you actually have to strategically think about how you're going to enter a situation. It looks great, and I think for those who love those games, and I do, I'm just looking at time going, will I have time for this? It's going to scratch an itch for those people who've been dying for another Civ game. It was nice to see it there as well. It was just really nice to see it there, and people were like, it's a PC game. Xbox is not just a console, it is a whole ecosystem of multiple platforms. And it deserved its spotlight, the work that they've done into that. I mean, it's not for everyone, but kudos to them. That's all I'm adding to that game before we move on to the next one.
Jim's not interested, so I'll say something.
I'm not.
Jen's
I'm
like,
not
I'm falling asleep right now.
Sorry.
No. I like Civilization games. I've always liked Civilization games. Except it is late, but I was just going to jump in and quickly say that there was a game, or was a releasing strategy game that released by Xbox on
Age
of
and I
Empires?
tried it, and not Age of
Jen and I are
Empires,
both
Age of
thinking the
Empires
same
4, I
thing.
played that.
I'm thinking, do you play Xbox?
I played
He is such a fraud, right? Like, he
I play a lot of
is.
strategy. I love strategy games. And there was another one. I can't remember what it is now. I'd have to look it on Game Pass. But I did play Age of Empires 4 as well, but I stopped playing that for sort of the same reason.
Oh, City Skylines?
Civilization games in the old days, they used to be great. No, they used to be great nowadays. And I love thinking going, oh, no, is it... Was it the new June game? June.
Oh,
Have you
yeah,
seen
it's a
that?
June game. Yep, I know what
Okay.
you're talking
There's a
about.
new June game. I don't know if you played the original June game. It's fantastic. It was like Red Alert, that fantastic game. It's dropped on Game Pass,
Was
the
it in
new
black
one,
and white?
and I thought, no, what the hell? What, the original June film? What? What do you think I am?
Game.
No. No, it wasn't black and white. No, it was a great game. It's RTS, and you've blown my mind now, Jen.
Anyway, let's get to the next game,
Yeah,
because Jen's falling
Civilization's- They're
asleep.
great games. Yeah, they're great games. The problem
I
with
need
them
that
is,
sign
I
from the
think as
game.
they're
Always
going
wrap it up.
Wrap it
Yeah,
up.
Let's
play 'em off.
Too much into them now. They're just throwing too much into.
Have you got
into
some
the side of the
music?
game now. They're too involved. They're too involved, and I just lost interest. So there's just they're making them far too complex. So that's why I shut off the June games. Not playing it.
It's
I played
interesting,
back
isn't
now.
it?
Oh, who done that?
I
That
have no
wasn't
idea
me.
who you're talking
What?
about. Who would do
It
that?
was.
It was solely me.
So what was the other game? Next game then. Mana, or are we going to skip that and just go straight on to Indiana Jones?
Visions of Mana,
Visions of
Mana, which is the Square Enix game that
Visions of
came in as an unauthorized user. That was funny. I liked how they did that.
Did you
It's a
notice
good
at
way
the
to
end, all the-
introduce their relationship with Square Enix.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
did you see the ad at the end? It said platforms where it's available. Platforms. It had Xbox Series consoles, and PC. It didn't have PlayStation. Does that mean anything, or?
I don't know.
Well, they have
you
said
notice
it's
that?
for Xbox, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so. It might even be a timed exclusive. Who knows?
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. But it didn't have PlayStation on the platform.
You serious?
The advert. Oh, I'm very serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you said he'd rather you speak about Conan than the game you were talking about before.
Oh, we can do that.
We
do that.
can,
Of course
we
do
Don't
that.
encourage him, please. Please.
Yeah.
No.
You- I'll just run around in a
If you want
loincloth,
to see
you'd
him
love it,
talk
Jen.
about Conan, just go to his YouTube channel.
Oh.
Watch his videos. Indie, everybody. Indie. I don't have anything to add to Visions of Mana other than, hey, I'll play it. I don't know. I haven't
I'll
played
probably
any of
try it. It's, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the other
It's
games.
not my thing.
I'll give
This
it.
is the beauty of Game Pass, though.
Yeah, I'll give it a giz. That'll be me. But yeah, I really just want to talk about Indiana Jones.
So, is this a really bad time to say I've
Lots of
never
it.
watched an Indiana Jones movie?
No, it's not a bad time, but I will give you a
lie.
bollocking afterwards. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, the game looks
Honestly, have you ever
great.
watched the Indiana Jones movie?
I've never watched. I've seen obviously clips of it in like
I will quit gaming.
rundown shows, but I've never watched one all the way through.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I live and die by the truth. You know
I'm just admitting it. The truth would come out at some point.
Why did you do that? I'm trying to play the other one. That's okay. Well, what did you think of this? Because you haven't watched the movies.
Can't believe it.
Have you played any Indiana Indiana Jones
Wait,
games?
wait. First we get into this.
Changing it to a female character.
Before we get into this, you've got boys. You owe it to them to sit and watch Indiana Jones. They would love it. You need to watch Indiana
My eldest
Jones.
likes watching stuff like Mean Girls with me. I'm happier with that.
What are you doing to him, poor boy? Stop it! You're ruining him.
Hey, Mean Girls, don't you throw Mean Girls under the bars like that and the hot chick.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
No, I'm kidding.
Sit down with the kids, sit down with the boys, and watch Indiana Jones. Watch the first three: Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. You will love them. You absolutely love them, and they're fantastic films. You have to watch those before you play this game. That's your mission.
I'll watch at least one of them before I play the game, but I will be playing the game. So
at least watch the first one. Don't watch the last one.
Between the first and the second game, or the first and the second movie, or second and the third movie from memory? What was it?
This game's based between the Temple of Doom and Crusade.
Oh, so second and the third movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you watch the first two, then you're fine. You don't have to watch the last one if you don't need to. You don't need to watch Crystal Skull. I can
the third one's
guarantee
great.
you don't
Sean
need to
Connery
watch.
plays his dad, so it's fantastic.
Yeah, but you don't need to watch the fourth one. I can tell you to skip that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Crystal Skull was
I actually
awful.
had a funny conversation with my other half when this was showing. I turned to him and I says, "Oh, so it's Harrison Ford. Do you reckon they mocapped him for this?" And he said, "You realise he's like 70. He probably can't move."
Yeah. I think
It
he's
won't
older
be
than that.
him.
I think he's 80. Yeah.
Yeah. But it did run through my head at first. I thought, what a stupid thing to come out with.
Oh,
It's a good job I don't tweet
movie.
everything that goes through my head.
No.
Hey, honestly, what was your first impression of the showing of it, Jen? Anyway, because you haven't watched the movies. Have you played any previous Indiana Jones games?
I haven't, no, but I think the game looks awesome. With the puzzle solving, the combat, I'm here for it.
You're here for
I
it?
actually like the way they
you
do
watch
the
the
switch
movie,
between
you
first and
understand.
third person.
Yeah.
So it zooms out when you've got to do certain things in the
I like that
environment.
too, because that's
I
what
think that's
Cyberpunk
really
was
clever.
missing.
Yeah.
So. Photo mode.
Do you want to shout out to Infinite Umbra in the chat? We've got Infinite joining us. You have to watch the films now to make sense of what you was watching.
I will. Before I
because-
actually play it, I will promise you I will watch some Indiana Jones.
Because I was on C Money's and Doodle's show, and we were saying about what we before this the director cut, what we'd like to see, and I was saying, I hope they don't make it sort of a shooter. I hope he doesn't really use his gun, because in the movies he doesn't use a gun. That's his last
Resort
thing to go to. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He has a 6-shooter, but he doesn't really use it.
Does he use a whip, or have I just made that up?
Yeah,
BDSM,
a lot of the
yeah.
he does. He uses the whip, and in the third movie, a good thing about he shows you how
He
you
also
get the
uses a
whip.
ball
Shows
gag.
gets
Did you
his
know
stuff.
that?
Yeah, but
Modders sort it. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, don't. Yes, photo
yeah, he
mode.
used the whip,
Umbra.
but he mainly all fist fights. He mainly just fights people, like fist fights, and he's really good. And he uses wits. He's a archaeologist. He's very clever, and he uses wits to get around things and outsmart people. And he dresses up a lot and things like that. So that's why I think this is what it's about. It's not a shooter. It's not going to be like that. That's why I think it's in first person, not third person. I think it's going to be more puzzle solving, and then also, as I said, majority of his fights are going to be fist fights, not running around shooting like they are in PlayStation games. He's going to be fist fighting, and I think fist fighting. I don't know if you've done fist fighting in third person mode in games. Is just
Fisticuffs?
awful.
Are we playing fisticuffs?
Unless there's like a lock on, you just swinging wildly and you're missing in third person, and it's just because of your angle, the characters, it never matches up, does it? You know, like let's say have lock on like in Batman games.
I think
for
it's a more
example, you
visceral
sort of lock on your
experience putting it
character's
into first
mode.
person and really putting you into the
Yeah,
shoes.
and is that as well. Yeah.
I loved this showing, like when they first showed it, and they were trying to hide the face the whole time and then they just showed it, and it was Harrison Ford's likeness. So I don't know how much that
Was
cost.
it his voice? Did they say
No,
it was his voice?
it's Troy Baker voicing
Another guy, yeah.
Yeah, so he's doing. I think he's doing a pretty
it's Troy
decent
Baker.
job of voicing.
He does.
Voicing
He did sound
him.
like him, yeah.
I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, considering like you could listen to Harrison Ford now and he's got an older voice, and then you've got his younger voice, and then sometimes it's like trying to make sure that it doesn't sound like Troy Baker and all this other stuff. But I think overall it showed really well. I really like the art style. People complaining about the art style. It doesn't look like a next-gen game or anything, and I'm like...
It looks amazing.
It
What
looks
are they talking
stunning. It looks beautiful. I think what they're doing with that is amazing. And then the music coming in, and I'm so excited. Like the way they do the cutscenes with the plane thing. I'm like, everyone's going, look, it looks like the movie. I'm like, that's what you want from an Indiana Jones game. If you are a massive indie fan, this looks like it's sort of a love letter to the fans and to people who grew up watching those and wishing that they could be Harrison Ford playing indie, doing all of those things, solving puzzles. And I think to your point, 100% Jen, about the first person aspects for puzzle solving, that's what you want for that, to really be able to get up and close and see what you're wanting to do the puzzle solving. And then for other traversal, the third person aspect, like when you're using the whip and it pulls out, so obviously to prevent people from getting motion sick,
ladder,
and the ladder, like climbing up. I think they've done a really good job, and I'm not disappointed with the fact that it's in first person. I think it cuts that conversation of people trying to compare it to Uncharted on that other side, because you can't do a fair comparison in that respect, because it's not a third person over the shoulder game. And I think I'm just so excited. This is now my most hyped game for 2024. The fact that it's coming out at the end of the year, I'm like, yes. Like, it was we saw the first showing of it, in 2021, I think, where we first saw, was it 2021 or 2020, when we saw the logo of the fact that Machine Games was making indie. And so to see what they've done with it now, I'm so impressed. I'm so excited, and such, yeah. Anyone else want to add anything?
Yeah, I'd like to make just a point that Jen has to watch the films. Tonight would be great, but otherwise tomorrow.
It's not going to happen tonight, I'll tell you that now.
Jen, you are fined if you do not watch
I've got until the game comes out, haven't I? I think that's a good bet.
What do you mean kind of?
But I don't really want to speak about the game anymore until she's seen the movies.
Rude.
That's interesting, Elite. You're going to be missing off. You're going to be missing off a lot of shows.
I mean, I don't want to not talk to you anymore. I mean, I don't want to talk about the game anymore until you've seen the movies. But you have to.
Can you imagine? I'm not speaking to you until you watch
the game. I'm not that. Break up, never make up. But you have to. You have to watch them, because I think it'll make a lot more sense of the trailer you see and what's to come and what to expect from the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I had
sort of the charismatic and the way he is.
You probably had in your mindset a little bit around what you thought the game might deliver. I definitely had an idea of what I wanted and what I thought, and I feel like Machine Games surpassed that for me, and they delivered something that I wasn't expecting, because it's very rare that some people get it right, and I'm just so excited. I just can't even. I was smiling the whole time it was showing when I was watching it. I was at work and everyone's like looking at me like, "Why are you smiling like a lunatic?" And I was just like,
part of the showcase, hands down, I thought.
Yeah, it was my favourite part of the showcase, yeah. Yeah. I think it outshone even Hellblade 2, and Hellblade 2 was fantastic. Yeah.
I'm sorry, just missing something. Yes, so are we done? Jen looks like she's fallen asleep.
I'm sorry, I am.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think there's anything else we really want to talk about.
I've been drinking Tiger beer. You said I was going to go to sleep. That's quite how it lasted you.
I just want to add and remind everyone who is listening that it was a developer's direct. It isn't going to be the experience you were expecting for like the Xbox E3 showcases or anything like that. So do be mindful of that when you're thinking about how it showed and what they talked about and everything like that. It was a bit of a behind the scenes around the developers talking about the games they're working on, and so have
to
that
see the
mindset.
nerds. Let them speak.
Yeah, let them speak.
Yeah.
they're just as excited about this game, and there's things that they can't even tell us at this point, and things that they haven't even shown us we're going to see later on. I can't wait to see Indie again later this year, though. I'm like, yes, I need this game in my life, like, right now. I'm so excited. So excited. I didn't think I'd be this excited for Indie, but it surpassed my expectations, so, yeah.
He's so excited.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, we're just messaging the crew, messaging the chat. We've got Umber joining us now. We've got Red joining us now.
Coming in at the end to watch me falling
we've
asleep.
got a
It's okay.
intro now, which is gonna. Yeah.
Well, let's do a quick shout out to.
Yeah, so I was saying we've got a new outro. We've got a new outro, just so you can see the outro because it's got sort of our.
There's a new outro as well.
Yeah, the new intro was quite entertaining, wasn't it?
There is a new outro.
Yeah, I'm wide awake now. I want to see this.
It's not as good.
Yeah,
It's just you're gonna have to wait till the very end because someone comes at the very end. I thought the intro was hilarious with our faces on it. The outro's its own thing. But yeah, I just want to shout out to the chat. It's episode 128 for the Gamers Initiative podcast. It's our first show of the year. My fault though because I've been enjoying time off.
It is your fault.
Yeah, it is my fault. What? What was that, Ali? I'm gonna murder you later.
Come back though, right after the directs. I think it was timed perfectly.
Yeah, see, that's planned.
Murder him.
Perfectly balanced. Like
Murder him.
Should be.
But yeah, thank you all for watching. We're gonna jump out. Jen, where can people find you before we head out?
Yeah, tell us.
So yeah, at Windows Central. If you want to read all my Diablo hype. And you can find me on Twitter, or X as people call it. So I'm GenBox360.
Yeah. Our stuff is going to be in the outro, so we don't need to say anything, do we, Elite?
No, we don't. We don't say anything anymore. I've done it so we don't have to talk. We just fuck off.
Yeah, piss off, Elite. Yeah, go to...
So,
yeah.
Right. So thank you all for watching, guys. Hopefully see you next week. And have a good one.
Bye.
Enjoy gaming. Get out of here.
Bye.
Council's terminated.
That was a damn good show.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.